Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Dawntrail. In the last episode, we've arrived in Shaktaral in the region of Shaloni, which is basically a Wild West themed region. And so we decided to just kind of wander around. We're following Aaronville as he is making his way home, and we're just taking in the sights and the experiences of the area. And in the first town we arrived in, we immediately ran into someone running afoul of the local law enforcement. And we bumped into Estinian, because of course he's just hanging out here. Why not? And, yeah, we rode the Ronique, I guess, buffalo analogs out here to another town where we met a friend of Aaronville's mother. And while we were having a chat there, we responded to a distress shout from Namika, who was being accosted by bandits. And they stole a bracelet from her that was given to her by Wook Lamont, so it has sentimental value. And so we tracked the bandits down to their hideout and determined that the lawman, who we ran into in the first town, is the one who's actually running the gang of bandits. And we rescued the kid that was not too happy with the guy. And we got his story about how he started this group to help protect people, and then they got taken over by the aforementioned lawman, who turned it into a group of bandits who's stealing and fencing goods from the locals. So we're trying to expose him as a criminal, and that's what we need to do. We're gonna lure him into a trap, essentially. So that is what we are working on. Because, of course, we get ourselves involved in all of this stuff while we're supposed to be on vacation. But then again, this is our vacation. I mean, we're not killing gods, so, you know, it is a bit of a break. Alright. So, we need to go over here. We need to talk to this guy. Wahute? Wahute? Something along those lines. Hello there. Yeah, see ya. We're likely that Shatona's doing. What's this angle? Huh. And then there's that. Then there's the brat. It's past time I dealt with him. Wahute is oblivious to your presence. Perhaps a gentle poke will get his attention. Hello. Huh? What's this? Ah, an unfamiliar fates in these parts. Have you need of the Dust Watch, miss? What? Zekoa tried to rob you, but you apprehended him? I see. So desperate was he to see his friends free from prison, he turned to a life of crime. How awful. Would you have my sincerest thanks, miss? Am I there trouble to take me to? And he's now accompanying us. We'll keep him at our side. Now, we need to lure him. Down south, it would seem. I guess we'll have some chats along the way. Not that this is an appropriate time for me to play tour guide, but if you insist, Shishinoizi Springs is home to a thriving cerulean mining industry. The prospect of easy coins attracted some undesirables, though. Has it now? There is our destination. Is this the place? I don't see him. Just a little further. I see. Very well, lead on. And we're trying to lure him all the way down here. Oh, the other thing that I did do off screen was I took care of the fates that I needed to take care of to unlock the riding map. So in theory, I should be able to ride at appropriate ground speed anyway. And I took care of all the side quests, so those are all done. Of course. Is this the place then? Sorry, I'm still learning my way around. Is this some sort of joke? Of all the... Let's keep moving. That should, in theory, leash back here. There we go. This better be the place. Now I remember. My patience is wearing awfully thin, miss. If you use it at the next place we stop, I may be forced to do something you and I would both dearly regret. Yeah, I'm sure you would regret it. What are we going to ask about over here? The cacti? The Nopala tenders. Unless you'd rather I feed you on raw, needles and all, cut the chit-chat. Alright then. Yeesh. Alright, where is he? I don't see him anywhere. Where is Ekwa? Tell me where he is, or I'll bury you in the same grave. Confounded, he must have escaped. That's it. I've had it with these games, and I've had it with you. Hey, Bahute, you looking for me? There he is. If you want to place me under arrest, you'll have to work a little harder. I'll be begging for a cell by the time I'm done with you.
Wahoote! Finally caught up to me, I see.
Well, well, if it isn't our young outlaw. You've taken up stealing, I'm told. Can't say I'm surprised about that, but I am surprised that you'd offer yourself up to be arrested.
Sorry to disappoint, but you're the one who's going to answer for their crimes today.
Ah. The evidence.
Hey, that's my jewelry!
And my bag! So you found the stolen goods. That's fine work.
This barrel was at Shisenuetsi Springs, mixed in with others bound for Tuliyola. The Landsguard would have presumed it part of the regular ceruleum shipments and waved it through. And once it reached its destination, it would have been retrieved, and its contents sold for coin.
The audacity. Do we know who's behind this?
As fortune would have it, I spied the leader of this operation being handed one of the stolen items. A bracelet, which Vau Wuklamat had intended for her nursemaid, Namika.
It was from the Vow of Resolve?
Yep.
Oh, you've seen it then?
No, no, never. And if I knew who had it, I would have arrested the scoundrel.
Oh, come off it. I saw you with the bracelet.
What's the meaning of this, Wahoote?
It's a setup, sir. I have the bracelet, yes, but I only 'cause I found it. I swear. They're the real criminals. They concocted this scheme to frame me, so they could get me out of the picture.
If you feel your honor's at stake, there's always the old-fashioned way. The law which folks have used to settle their differences for generations.
You don't mean...
Wahoote, I challenge you to a duel. The winner is right, the loser is wrong. Doesn't get simpler than that.
Yeah, have at it.
Let your pistols do the talking!
Please, do you honestly believe you can goad me into playing your game?
You refuse then? A baby alpaca's got more fight than you.
All right, boy. But remember, you asked for this.
Come on, Zakawa! Give him what for!
Shouldn't we stop him, Chief? Even if it's just rubber bullets, we're in the middle of town.
Be quiet. Just watch.
Classic.
Oh, you little shit!
Got him.
Looks like you've gotten slow in your old age, Vulture.
You and I are going to have a long talk.
I apologize for dueling in the middle of town. If you want to lock me up, then lock me up. But please, let my friends go. They've done nothing wrong.
You drew your gun within town limits. But Wihute drew first. Far as I'm concerned, you acted in self-defense. You're free to go. As are your friends.
Ha! You're not such a bad guy after all!
Just a man of the wilds, like you.
Alright, that seems to have worked itself out.
But to think that Wihute had taken control of the Daybreakers, it pains me that it happened right under my nose.
What are you gonna do about his crew? Some of them are still in Tonatenui.
Tonatenui?
Those who have broken the law will be taken into custody. But those who haven't will be given the chance to resume walking the straight and narrow. What about you, Zakua? What do you intend to do now?
Why, what I've always done. Protect the weak and help the helpless. The old-fashioned way.
Here, this was Vawuk Lamott's gift for someone, wasn't it?
Yes, a person very dear to her.
I suppose this is where we go our separate ways. My thanks again for your help apprehending the Vulture.
Alright. Now that all that's done. What's up? That was a pretty nice shot, right? Alright, Anvil. Ended up being rather more complicated than expected, but all's well that ends well. Phew. Finally, it's over. I couldn't have brought him the justice without your help. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. Oh, I'm sure we'll find a way. Alright, Aranville. Now that we have that bracelet, let's return to Shishinowezi Springs. Will we be staying there long? I'll have to give you proper thanks after I find my friends. We're planning on it, but there's no need to rush. We'll see you at the springs then. Alright. Looks like we got some more side quests to do, but I'll worry about that later. Alright. Yate? Welcome back. I'm glad to hear those bandits got what they deserved. And Aranville? You're understandably worried, but I told them what happened in Husatawi. A minor adventure made for quite the tale. Yep. My bracelet, thank you. Thank you so much. This is more than just a gift. It's a part of me I could never hope to replace. Truly, Wuklamot is blessed to have such devoted friends. Well, I wouldn't put it quite that way. I prefer to think of us more as long-standing acquaintances. Regardless of how you choose to describe it, there's no denying the depth of your bond. I'm sure you'll continue to do so. Can't say I'm surprised the deputy chief turned out to be the bandit's leader. I always knew something wasn't right about him. An easy claim to make with the gift of hindsight. There you are. The real Daybreakers have arrived. Ah. I can meet my two best friends, Quicana and Liwine. If it wasn't for you believing in Zekoa and doing what you did, we'd still be locked up. I had no idea how satisfying it was to see that bastard Wihute put behind bars. We never gave up hope that Zekoa would find a way to get us out. He always was the best of the Daybreakers. Glad he was able to convince you to go along with his plan. Unfortunately, our group is smaller now and lacking in strength besides. Some outlaws might see us as an easy target. Even so, if anyone should give the Dust Watch the slip, the Daybreakers will be there. We'll train night and day, so no one will get the better of us ever again. Isn't that right? Right, and you'll teach us how you draw your pistols so fast, won't you? Well, you won't need a duel if all goes as it should. Only off chance it doesn't, we'll best make sure everyone can match or beat my speed. Owe you a great deal, and one of these days I'll be sure to repay it. On that you have my word. Until we meet again. If you'll excuse me, I shall find a quiet place to rest. I'll be here a while yet, though. Do let me know if there's any way I can be of assistance. Were you not planning to take the train home? Oh, train service has been suspended, didn't I tell you? No. You mentioned no such thing. Something about the tracks being damaged in the last quake. The tunnel was closed as well. An earthquake? It must have happened when we were still down south. Been quite a few tremors of late, and a rather large one struck not long before you two arrived. I hope no one was hurt. At any rate, if you want to know when service will resume, you could speak with the station master yourself. Let's do that. The station is just over there. All right. Let's go to the station. And it seems people aren't too happy with the train delays.
I'm so sorry, but we're not sure when the train will be running again.
You've got to be joking. Of all the places to get stuck at on the way.
Please don't tell me you've come to complain too.
We heard that the earthquake had caused disruptions and wanted to ask when operations would resume. But I see that it will be a while yet.
I'm afraid so. Too few hands for too much work. It's time-consuming enough to inspect the tracks after every quake, but this last one we got after the succession ceremony was massive. Made a mess of a whole bunch of railroad ties.
After the succession ceremony, huh?
The succession ceremony? We would have been in Tuliolal at the time. If it was as violent as you say, we should have felt it as well.
I have to admit, it was a touch strange, having seen my fair share of tremors. If I had to describe it, it felt more like the rumbling from an explosion.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Seriously? You're offering to help?
Got nothing else better to do?
What about you, my friend? If you'd rather strike out on your own, I understand.
Though, if you were willing to lend us a hand too, we'd be truly tremendously grateful.
All right.
Thank you.
Looks
Thank
like
you
we've been
so
volunteered.
much. If you would please
Oops.
step inside, I can introduce you to everyone.
Sorry for dragging you into this.
Again. Nothing else better to do right now.
There they are. That's them, the 2 volunteers.
This is a familiar looking grouping.
Walika is our station master, and over there is our top driver, Nitoikwe. And this grizzled mug is Zopia, an engineer who joined around the same time as me.
Much obliged for the help. I'll make it worth your while, I promise.
A very familiar looking group. Yeah.
Something the matter?
Would you happen to be a fan of trolleys? I mean, you run trains, so I guess a trolley wouldn't be that impressive.
Trolleys? They're fine, I suppose, but they're no match for our cerulean-powered engine.
She's absolutely glorious, let me tell you. If you'd like to bask in her beauty, well, you should visit the depot behind the platform.
Right then. What I'd like you two to do is help us procure timber. We'll be using it to fashion new railroad ties, so it needs to be the strongest stuff we can get. In these parts, that means the trees in the Piata-Yonan Plain. It is Hetsaro territory, though, so we need to get their permission first. Come on, no time to waste.
I guess this is the wife we never got a chance to meet. All right, Aaronville. Though no small number live in Shaloni, I must confess, I've never visited the home of the Hetsaro. As they largely live in accordance with older traditions, I expect they may have a dim view of the railroads. We'll find out. Weapon coffer, 669. Come, let's follow Walika. There's another station on the way, so be sure to drop in. The train will be in the depot, but you can still see it from outside. Quite taken with the sleek design of the head end myself. Though if you peek through the windows, you can probably catch a glimpse of... Enough just jabbering, Shinza. Thanks to these two, we finally have some real work to do. So let's get to it. We'll see you later. There's no harm in stopping by the station. It's on the way, after all. Yeah, we can check it out. So this is our station, huh? And there's our locomotive. Can we get in there? Nope. Not bad, not bad. Must confess, the train is an impressive sight. How easy it must be to ship goods through the wilds now. Man, this is some seriously wide gauge track. Right. Mawato Sonen should be northeast of here. Let's continue on. Like, what is that? Like 3 meters? Maybe 2? 2.5? The thing is, when I was around here doing my fates, I did pick up the aetheryte over there, but we'll walk it. Well, yeah, that's definitely a bit more heavily vegetated with actual trees instead of just, well, shrubs and cacti. There you are. The village is just up ahead. Truth be told, I've never had direct dealings with the people of Mawaheston. I'm not even going to try anymore. But I do know that their traditions mean a great deal to them, as does the land. So these are our Native American analogs? Yeah. Such lovely clean air. It feels like a treat after the overpowering ceruleum of Sheshinezi Springs. The waters nearby are just as pristine. It's a paradise for people and animals both. I'm glad you appreciate the blessings of nature as we do. Greetings, travelers, and welcome. I am Wato, chief of Mewahetsoan. This is my son, Shepetto. A pleasure to meet you. Thank you for the warm welcome and apologies for the sudden intrusion. I'm Waldika, station master of Shocktrail Railing. The recent earthquake has damaged our tracks and required timber to make repairs. This is Ayame and Aaronville, who have volunteered to assist us with the restoration effort. You have a most curious air about you, of oil and steel, tanned leather, and the faintest hint of tender grass of lands unknown. I gather you are not from these lands. No. I hail from Mayorzi, I will say that. Truly, I'd love to know more of you and the lands you have seen. I've kind of been all over the place. I'm told your people hold traditions in the highest, yet I gather you are curious about those of others as well. But of course, nature is boundless, as is our love for her lands and her children. The Hetso, in particular, have done much to guide our way of life. We're to hunt, to gather, to lay our heads. The Hetso teach us all these things and more. It's for that reason I believe that we are attuned to the shifting winds around us. I see, that word, Hetso, it means leader of souls in the Hetsaro tongue. Does it not? It does. There are many creatures revered as Hetso among the Hetsaro. Here we look to the Ronik for guidance. However, as you may have gleaned from our use of aetherites, while we are committed to our traditions, this does not mean we reject all outside influences. That said, there are certain things that give us pause. We'll furnish you with the timber you require, but first, as neighbors in this land, we ask that you indulge us in a discussion. We'd be glad to, of course. Wonderful. We do not often receive guests. We do not often receive guests come such a long way, and my son is always delighted to hear their tales. No, if you'll follow me. I think there's some missing words in there. All right. Geppetto. Say, do you like to hunt? And what weapons do you like to use? Yes. And yes. Well, Lika, if they follow the Ronic with the seasons, it makes sense that they would live in tents that can be broken down and transported easily. And Aaronville? This tent is made with the hide and bones of Ronique. I wonder what else they are used for here. I'll speak frankly. We fear the winds of change will soon bring misfortune to the land. The Ronique have made the potential for danger plain. As you may have heard, their temperament has become erratic of late. A stableman near Husatawi mentioned that. Do you know what has caused this? We have our suspicions. Since others were drawn to this land by ceruleum, Chaloni has undergone a transformation. And the railroads are part of that. As strong and resilient as they seem, Ronique are sensitive creatures. The roar of the train as it thunders through the plains may well cause them distress. As my father said, we do not necessarily reject outside influences or innovations, but in this we can't help but worry. Understandably, I thank you for being forthright. Matter concerns not only the Hetzaro, but all of Shaloni. Perhaps we should bring it to the attention of Valcona. Valcona, you say? We know him only through rumors, but he is apparently... How shall I put this? Hard-headed and aloof. He values technological advancement and efficiency to the detriment of all else. Well, I used to, anyway. Mind your tongue, Geppetto. Well, there's a grain of truth to the rumors. He's not nearly as bad as they make him out to be. I'll say all this is true. I'll say he's a bit awkward, so he tends to get misunderstood. Is that so? As we admittedly have never met him ourselves, perhaps we were too quick to judge his intentions. I may have fought beside Valcona in the right of succession. I'd take her word over rumors. You took part in the right of succession? You're that close to the Dawn Servants? I was grateful for any help, but had no idea I'd recruited a bona fide hero. The succession of Dawn Servants filled us with uncertainty for the future, but there is clearly much we do not know. On this particular occasion, the winds of change are not meant to be feared. No, we must open our hearts and minds that we might see Valcona for who he truly is. You think he might visit someday? Just as his father offered us guidance, I'm hopeful that he will do the same. He doesn't have fond memories of the head sorrow, but maybe he'll get past that. Alright, thank you for hearing and allaying our concerns. I'm glad we could speak. As for your timber, we have freshly cut logs near the lake. Please take all that you require. We're terribly grateful. I promise we'll keep the Ronique foremost in our minds as we continue working on the railroad, and if needs be, we'll seek Valcona's counsel. My thanks again for your time in Timber. We shall endeavor to return the favor. I hope to see you again soon. All right. Alright, how much of this are we going to need? We have more than enough timber to fix the ties. Now we need to transport it to the station, which will be a bit more involved than I thought. Didn't expect we'd be given so much. Mind waiting here a spell while I round up a few more hands and a Ronique? I won't be long. Well, that went well, and thankfully it seems we won't need to make several trips for the timber. All right. The weapon. 665. This is going to be what, a 669 weapon? And it's technically a higher item level. I have to see what it is. Titanium gold battle axe. Strength, vitality. It has critical hit. Not as much. It has way more tenacity on it, but not as much determination. Well, no determination, because, well, this doesn't have that stat. This is going to hit a lot harder, but this is going to mitigate more damage. Well, I am a tank, and so it matters that I mitigate damage. Alright, I guess we'll swap it. Alright, Heronville. While we wait, we could get started at moving the timber somewhere more accessible. It shouldn't take long if we split the work. Alright, crate of rough cut timber. Alright, we'll have 2 minutes, and we're just gonna grab it and haul it. Alright. I don't know if that is a appropriate method for carrying a heavy load. You know, elevated above your head. I should think this will be enough. That was mighty kind of you to move all that lumber. Sorry we didn't make it back sooner. We'll see to the rest. Once we repair the tracks, we'll have you on the first train out of town. Ain't that right, Chief? As much as I'd love to make it so, there aren't any spots available. You have to wait for the one after, I'm afraid, but you'll be running free of charge. It's the least we can do to repay your kindness. That's fine. Namika and no few others here were long before we arrived. It's the only way they go before us. I hope you'll stop by and see the train off. It's a breathtaking sight, let me tell you. And Nitoikwe will be driving. No engineer compares to her, and she's always a treat to watch her work. The only work we should be worried about is our own, Shinza, and we've still more to do. I'll find somewhere quiet near the station to pass the time. If there's anything else in Shaloni you're keen to see, then I'll leave you to it. Alright. I think there are some things in Shaloni we are keen to do. A whole bunch of side quests. Which should... There's only 3 quests there that will yield ether currents, assuming these are all ether current yielding quests, which I can't assume why that wouldn't be. But it is something that I need to do, get all that done. Alright. Well, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and end the episode here. I will take care of all those side quests. And then we'll go see about this train when we come back for next episode. Alright, but for now, we'll stop here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you next time.